The U.S. imposed a series of new sanctions on Russia, causing the amount of oil in floating warehouses at sea to skyrocket. This storage level is even higher than during COVID-19, when global fuel sources were affected. According to data from analytics firm Plur, the volume of Russian diesel in floating warehouses this month jumped to its highest level since 2017. Specifically, from March 10 to March 17, up to 6.2 million barrels of Russian diesel were stored on tankers at sea. The amount of diesel in storage recorded its highest level in many years and exceeded the level in early 2023 when the EU banned the import of diesel and other fuel by sea from Russia. Even this month's surplus is much higher than in the spring and summer of 2020, when the pandemic affected global fuel demand. Plur said this could be due to stricter enforcement of U.S. sanctions on Russian oil exports. Last month, the U.S. imposed new sanctions on Russia. New U.S. sanctions are targeting Sovcomflot, Russia's top tanker operator, and more than a dozen crude oil tankers linked to Russia. Tightened sanctions may have worried countries that regularly buy Russian diesel. According to Oil Price, all Indian refineries are currently carefully checking to ensure tanker fleets are not linked to companies on the U.S. sanctions list. Earlier this week, two Reuters sources said India's largest refiner, Reliance, had stopped buying crude oil originating from Russia and transporting it on tankers owned by Sovcomflot as the U.S. tightened its regulations. Enforce sanctions. Reliance has also asked Russia's oil trading partners not to load shipments onto Sovcomflot ships. Before U.S. sanctions were introduced, Indian refineries' refining profits had also dropped sharply in the context of increasingly difficult access to Russian crude oil and rising shipping costs due to disruption. Shipping passage in the Red Sea. India's Bharat Petroleum Corporation and refiner Reliance Industries have bought about 7 million barrels of U.S. crude for April delivery, traders said.